And so, after another long period of absence, because I have a job now serving ice cream to tourists, so I don't have the time with which to spend in a nice warm cinema watching crap movies, it's time to review movies which may or may not still be in the cinema. Hooray! Sign off with Terminator Genisyis, the latest Terminator movie which could soon be terminated out of the cinemas. Oh dearie, dearie me. It is directed by Alan Taylor, who previously directed Thor: The Dark World, and stars Jason Clarke, Emilia Clarke, Jai Courtney, J.K. Simmons, who obviously had to pay his rent that month, and Arnold "Get to the chopper" Schwarzenegger, who is back again as the Terminator. But this time the Terminator's an old Terminator with wrinkles and droopiness, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is now 110 years old. Oh, dear me. Look, I'm saying nothing new or witty by saying that this movie is an utter mess from start to finish. An almighty raspberry jam of a movie which is needlessly convoluted for what ultimately boils down to robots thumping each other for 90 minutes. And I myself can't think of a better way to spend a summer's afternoon than watching a confused old man fight robots that aren't really there. Look, I would make a joke about this movie, but it's really not worth it at this late stage of the game, as it's just pointless to really do so. It is a mess, a very disappointing mess, a strangely disappointing mess, as I knew this movie was going to suck when I went into it. I knew it was going to be a mess, I knew it was going to hurt my head, but it still didn't stop me feeling disappointed. And the reason being is because early on in this movie, you get this feeling that this could actually be good, that there could actually be some hope and some spark left for this movie, only have that utterly crushed in the most painful way possible. The early section of this movie is pretty damn great, I have to say. It takes place in the future, where we finally see the fall of Skynet and see John Connor send Kyle Reese back in time to save Sarah Connor and ultimately give birth to John Connor. It's the bit in the movie that we see now and again in the previous installments, and that entire opening quarter of the movie is enjoyable. Some really great action, some great pacing, some solid set and costume design, and a certain spark to it, this energy and zest which is sadly missing from the rest of the movie. Seemingly, as soon as Arnold Schwarzenegger enters the movie, everything falls around him. And it's a shame, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, I like him in a weird kind of way. He's oddly charismatic in that strange way that he is. But as soon as he enters the movie, the entire thing just kind of turns to dust all around him, and we're left with the crushing disappointing and the harsh reality that this movie is going to be nothing but an absolute chore to sit through. It's full of these very strange attempts at comedy. Midway through the movie, they all get arrested, and the cops' theme tune is playing in the background. There's this weird moment when Sarah Connor is undressing, and we see this silhouette like something out of a Zucker Brothers movie. And then we have I Want to Be Sedated playing while they're driving around in an ambulance. It really is mind-numbing, just some of the weird little bits that are within this movie. It is a damn shame, once again, because early on in this movie we get this suggestion, this hint that there may be some goodness within this movie, but ultimately there isn't. This movie could have been a great opportunity to really explore the whole mythos around Terminator, and to really explore the ideas and the themes of fate. As of course in the second movie we have young John Connor saying, "There's no fate but the fate we make," and that whole entire idea seems to have been thrown aside, and now it's all set in stone that there must now be Judgment Day, that the Terminators are going to rise and all this, that and the other. And there is this moment midway through the movie where you think they're actually going to address that and explore that, when Sarah Connor learns that in the future she's going to have to sleep with Kyle Reese in order to give birth to John Connor and to save the future and to make sure that the entire space-time continuum continues ticking over. And that entire idea repulses her. She's shocked that she's going to have to sleep with a guy and fall in love with someone that she doesn't even know. And you think at that moment we're actually going to get something a little bit more clever, a little bit more intelligent. But lo and behold, they fall in love almost a couple of scenes later, even though it's one of the most artificial aspects of this movie. So artificial that it makes some of the crap CGI on the big bad guy with this movie seem utterly photorealistic. I mean, good grief, our two lead actors within this movie, Emilia Clarke and Jai Courtney, are so wooden, so artificial. When we do have the sudden onset love moment, it just feels like two mannequins are lumping up against each other. There's no chemistry between the two characters. They're just these soulless voids that seem to have been put in the movie because they're relevant and cool at the moment or something. I think the Emilia Clarke maybe in Game of Thrones or something like that. I don't bloody know. Look, this movie is a mess. There's no point seeing it. Not even if you're a fan of the series, because it is just so crushingly depressing. And fleetingly, Matt Smith is in it. And I have this feeling that Matt Smith left Doctor Who in order to be in this movie. And I bet he's regretting that decision now, ain't he, kids? Bloody hell.